So Vladimir Putin is visiting Beijing. And so to talk about this trip, we're joined by Bruno Surdel, a security analyst from the Center for International Relations. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. So now that Xi Jinping has finished his trip to Europe, I'm wondering whether he has achieved something there that can be of mutual use for both Russia and China, and that maybe two gentlemen are discussing it right now in Beijing.
What's interesting, the visit has come just after inauguration of Putin's fifth term. Yes, and also 1 week ago, Russia started a new offensive in Ukraine. We can say clearly that it was like a vassal's visit to his sovereign, Putin's visit to China. But it is it brings benefits to both sides for one simple reason, because China needs such alliance with Russia because of United States and its, let's say, Cold War with Washington. So it needs to show to the world that we have such, let's say, powerful military alliance. On the other hand, Russia needs badly Chinese assistance in all aspects. Russia is isolated, yes, after invasion of Ukraine. Russia needs to sell its oil somewhere, and now it is selling oil and gas on discounted prices to China. Yes, so I think it is of joint benefit. Both countries benefit of this relationship, and it's not a strategic relationship; it's a tactical relationship, because China needs both West and Russia to be weakened. On the other hand, President Xi Jinping doesn't want Putin to fail. Yes, doesn't want Russia to collapse it, because it would be, in his view, it would be dangerous for its strategic position and situation in Asia.
Well, let me interrupt you here, because Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin both condemned what they cast as increasingly aggressive U.S. behavior and pledged to deepen their countries' already close defense and military ties. And my question is, how close are their military ties? And after all, China says it's neutral when it comes to the war in Ukraine.
Officially, China is neutral, yes, but everybody knows perfectly that China is providing assistance to Russia, but not weapons, at least rockets or ammunition, because Russia gets ammunition from North Korea, and Russia has enough simple weapons to use in its stocks. What Russia needs is more intelligence and more sophisticated means, goods. Yeah. So this is why what comes into question here is provision of dual-use goods, yes, which can be used both in military and also for civilian purposes. And this is what China is doing, and what United States wants them to stop providing to Russia.
Right. I'd like to continue on this very much topic. The two leaders apparently want stronger cooperation in the fields of energy, food supplies, and Chinese car manufacturing. In Russia, also nuclear energy. Now, I'm wondering whether the two countries can form some sort of a ironclad alliance that is sanction-proof to the West. Is there any hope for the Kremlin and Beijing to form such an alliance that could oppose Western sanctions?
Yes. Actually, they have been doing this for last 2 years since the Russian invasion of Ukraine. And as today was claimed by Putin, I think 90% of the bilateral trade is being made in yuan and in ruble. Actually, Russia uses Chinese intra-border, cross-border payment system. Yes. So, and they are doing this perfectly. And actually, Russia now is like training place for China to see if they can expand its system to other countries. I mean, system not using dollars in cross-border payments. Yeah, because until now it is successful.
Mm-hmm. Now,
absolutely.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but China, first and foremost, sees its own interest when it comes to any relationship with any country. But is it possible to be in good terms with Europe, with US, with Russia?
China can do this. Just look what is in Middle East. China is best friend of Saudi Arabia. At the same time, is a strategic partner for Iran. They're able to do this. I think it's one of the few countries in the world who have such a capacity. Yeah. So, but of course, they cannot do this with United States because they are strategic opponents. Yes. But China is trying to maintain a good trade relationship with Europe. Yes. Mm-hmm. As we remember recently, President Xi Jinping visited President Macron in France and also met with the president of the Commission, European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen. So the Chinese are trying to do this, but of course, as you correctly said, they care just and only about their own interests. Nothing else.
But I guess many countries are also reliant on China, so I guess it goes both ways.
Oh, well. Some
yes,
third world countries.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. Now, both leaders, I mean Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin, issued a joint statement, and I'd like to quote it now. The United States still thinks in terms of the Cold War and is guided by the logic of bloc confrontation, putting the security of narrow groups above regional security and stability, which creates a security threat for all countries in the region. The US must abandon this behavior, we read. That's obviously about the situation in Ukraine. What would you make of this statement?
It's not just about Ukraine. Of course, it's Ukraine, and Putin has been praising President Xi Jinping for his role in trying to bring peace between Russia and Ukraine. On the other hand, what President Xi Jinping said today is that both countries, China and Russia, they support each other's core interests and major concerns. What are major concerns? They have also mentioned. Putin has mentioned, as he called it, United States attempt, yes, to create a new NATO in Pacific. I mean AUKUS, yes, so Australia, United Kingdom, but United States, but also they're trying to, of course, to include Japan, and they were trying also India. So we have two fronts, actually, cold fronts, which is Pacific, Western Pacific, and Ukraine, and both leaders support each other in this effort. But let's to be clear that China, to engage in any direct confrontation with the United States, needs to get richer. And unless it gets richer, it cannot do this. This is why there are limits for the friendship with Mr. Putin, of course.
All right. Well, thank you very much for explaining the situation.
And it very much seems that they have no other choice. They just have to rely on each other. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.